Peace. This is Spiritual Lifting with V. Let me get your soul swole. Today's subject matter, fall not to the shadow of the ego. And first off, before I start this video, I'd like to say peace and blessings and love to all my people out there. And if you're new to tuning into this channel, thank you. If you've been tuning into this channel, keep tuning in. Hit the like, subscribe button, and the notification bell. Okay, fall not to the shadow of the ego. In life, we go through things where we're on highs, we're on lows, where we want to be right and correct. And so we may not think that our actions have any sort of negative impact as long as that we're winning, and that we are on these rides that we're not the ones that could ever potentially and possibly do wrong. But the reality of it is that there's good ego and there's bad ego. Now, a form of the good ego would be, you know, you're on a high, you know you can do it, kind of like winning a championship type of thing. And so you don't look back. You don't want to look back. You know that you're not going to fail, and so you have this confidence built up in you. But there is a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And when we start dwelling in between those realms of confidence and arrogance, we really have to be careful, because it's just that arrogance that can lead you down that negative path. That same thing that took you on that ride to get there, once you win, once you become that champion, is the same thing that can make you ignore everything that it took to get there, everything, every practice, every discipline that took you to that height, and then now to sit back and essentially start to relish and hold on and gloat and get into this position of you could never fall. But there'll never be a champion in life without failure. There'll never be a champion in life without losses. And the only way you can really be a true champion and win is if you have a failure, a loss of some sort. But what we don't want to do is live in the shadow of that ego. Because the shadow of the ego tells us that once we're in that shadow, that we essentially, our shit don't stink, right? That no one can tell us any difference. It leads us to spiteful, vengeful type of emotions and feelings. And in life, we don't really want to have that, because you will be brought down quickly if you're not careful. The shadow of the ego, we all have that shadow. We all have that assuming dark side. We all have that other nature that resides within us. And that is that nature of, it's all about me, it's never about we. It's all about me. I did this, I did it myself. I didn't need anyone else to do it. I didn't need any help to get there. When we don't get anywhere in life whatsoever, anywhere in our existence without help. You didn't birth yourself. Even if you went and you applied for the employment and the job, you still didn't do it yourself, because it took a person to hire you. It took someone to interview you. It took someone to make the advertisement to point you in the direction of where this employment might be. It's impossible in this life to do anything totally yourself. You had to get it from somewhere, and at the end of the day, the creator is right there. So even if you made the clothes yourself, even if you created your own business, the inspiration and the ideal just didn't come from you. And even if you think it did, it took your mind, your soul, your spirit to all work together with your physical nature to allow that to happen. Isn't it a beautiful day? Look at all we've been given. Even on the cloudy days, it's the most fantastic, wonderful thing. The Creator put us in this position to enjoy it all. Do you think that that is what we are meant to do here on this existence and plane? is to completely walk around in a totally selfish nature. Can you imagine if everyone was doing that? If everyone walked around in a completely selfish nature and only were concerned with themselves, nothing would get anywhere. And there are plenty of people who go through this life like that. But those same people who are doing those things, they have to screw a lot of people over. And at the end of the day, this is what they mean by it's lonely at the top. It doesn't have to be lonely at the top. It doesn't. Because if it's lonely at the top, then you may have success and no love. You may have money but no power. All of those things where you have that support system behind you. Be nothing worse than to have all the successes in the world and be completely alone. And people could say, well, my money, my finances, all of these things can make me happy. But truly in the end, will it really? Because to truly be alone, to truly be isolated, is to truly really not exist. And that would mean that you would isolate yourself from the Creator. I don't think that walking through this existence in the shadow of that ego is a very good thing. This would really turn a person, like I said, to spite, to hate, to, really not liking yourself. That lonely heart. And I know there's a lot of people out there, if you've ever been in a position where you've been in these fantastic relationships, whether that's family or love or otherwise, and then whatever it was, your attitude towards life, your attitude towards everyone else, you ended up alone in a situation and you said, I don't need anyone, I just need myself. But then the time goes by and the time goes by and the time goes by. And there you are, just alone. Just you. Bored. Unhappy. Dissatisfied. Can't figure out why you're not happy. You have everything in the world, but something's missing. Now, yes, when we leave this plane, we do leave alone. When we come into this existence, unless we're twins, and even when twins come, they don't come out at the same time. They come out individually. You come in here alone. But your existence while you're here does not have to be entrapped and enthralled inside of the ego. And it doesn't have to be alone. Spread the joy, spread the love. This is not going to be a very long video today, but I thought it was an interesting subject matter, being in the shadow of the ego. It's a very different thing. We can have a good ego, or we can let that ego control us and let it bring us to our demise. I know the type of ego that I would like to have and try to carry on with is not one of arrogance, but it's one of happiness and joy, to where I can spread the winning feeling to others around me so that they may spread it back. The one of arrogance brings destruction and demise. And it doesn't allow you to see further than the front of your face. We all must use the eye and not the eyes, and look forward. Because we aren't the only ones in this existence. It's not as long as I'm doing well, nothing else matters. Sometimes it is about those around you. And remember, having that arrogance, ego, surely is going to bring your downfall. And when it brings your downfall, those who you exhibited that to will be there waiting. People, I just want to say love one another. I'd like to say a big rest in heaven to my brother, Ron Carruthers, too. I'm going to miss you so much, man. But thank you for all the memories while you were here on this plane. But I know once you've moved on to another plane, your existence is beautiful. Much love to Group 1 Equity, my man Al B. I love you, brother. Definitely, the dude that cooks, Ed Jones 404 on IG. Check him out. Much love to you, brother. Much love to Benelli Returns. I love you, brother. And also, I'd just like to say peace and blessings to all my people, man. We can all do this together. Let's not live in the shadow of our ego and be in despise and hatred throughout our life, because life is so much more. Sometimes the darkness can have some comfort, but don't let it pull you in. We all need to go through that. But remember, without the light, there can be no shadows. So everyone's shadow self does exist, but remember where it spawned from. Let's stay in the light, people. I love all of you. Peace and blessings. And let's continue on to have a beautiful day. This is something I think that everyone probably has dealt with. I'd like people to go ahead and give a correspondence on the shadow, not falling to the shadow of the ego. How maybe has the shadow of the ego affected you in your life, and how did you escape it and bring the light back to your life, and maybe how did it transform and change you? For me in my life, I've gone through it several times, and I had to fall down several times, and it had to transform me, thinking that I could never lose and that everything would be a winning matter for me. And I really had to sit back and realize at the end of the day that I did it to myself, that I did that, and I gotta attain for that, and I gotta become a better person. And as always, the children are what's most important. They are the future, and we are the past. But I think by not living in the shadow of the ego and not letting it control us, and giving out and loving other people as well as ourselves, we can all be the future. This has been Spiritual Lifting with V. Let me get your soul swole. Peace.